Hey guys, what's up? It's Coach Carroll, and boy, do I have a treat for you today. Welcome to another episode of the Sales Factory. I'm excited to welcome Kory Rkyman, an entrepreneurial powerhouse, community leader, and all-state agency owner based in Georgia. Kory's journey is one of personal growth, persistence, and a deep commitment to customer service. Originally born in Russia, raised in Georgia, Kory built a thriving family-owned insurance agency that we'll talk about today, rooted in relationships, trust, and giving back to the community. He's a guy who doesn't just sell policies, okay? He builds personal connections, whether through helping families protect their future and volunteering with the Boys and Girls Club. He also enjoys coaching soccer. Kory brings with him a wide range of experience. We were talking about flipping houses before we hopped on the air here. From running successful businesses, working in healthcare tech, diving into real estate, now crushing it in the insurance game at Allstate. He's fluent in both English and Russian. Maybe we'll get him to spit some lines for us in Russian. He loves classic cars, weekend hikes, and plays a mean game of soccer. My knees ain't ready for that, Kory. Most importantly, he's someone who's turned past challenges into fuel for impact-driven success, like I talk about in every episode of the Sales Factory. This is going to be an inspiring conversation today. You guys want to tune in for this whole one. Kory, welcome to the Sales Factory, my man.
That was solid. Great intro. Loved it. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. So we were just talking before we got on air. You're doing real estate. You're doing insurance. You were top dog last year, right? So like, how's that feel, man? Like, I mean, obviously you got some competitive nature about you, right? You didn't like, yeah, man, I was in the top 100. Like, no, like you top dog. So like, what drives you? What gets you up in the morning to keep chasing now that you're at that peak? Is it just to repeat it again, or is there something else that's the secret sauce between
Maybe it's because I'm broken. I'm just never satisfied.
Hey, I like that. That doesn't
Like
mean we're
I'm
broke,
glad.
baby.
Like thank you God for everything, yada yada. But you wake up and you're like, if somebody else is doing better than me, I want to be there.
I
So every
love
day
it,
I
man.
wake up seeing that something else is possible, something greater is possible, and I want to achieve it.
I love it, man. What's family life look like for you?
I'm kind of on a farm like you. I got a couple acres, five, some ponies, some goats, some donkeys, some chickens. So family life in the backyard is some animals, man. I love hanging out with the animals and the fam in the pool.
That's cool, man. Yeah, it's you have kiddos. My daughter's 2. My son was just born a month ago, and so
Congrats.
thanks, man. Appreciate it. Game changer, changes your whole perspective, dude. You can be like the hardest driving person, and then you hold a baby, and it's like, okay, well, the rule book just got rewritten in real time, right?
Everything you do from that moment forward is for the kids.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. I kind of had a moment when my son was born. He's probably going to be our last kid. Like, I'm hoping my wife doesn't talk me into another one. And I said it's time to kill the old DJ. Like I have it written down in my journal, like RIP, man. Like, this is a new chapter, a new era, because it just gives you a new fire underneath your belly. And I just, man, I'm happy that we waited as long as we did, because I'll be 37. I just turned 37 in June, and so like we're more established. It's not like, do we have to buy diapers or no diapers, right,
Right.
or food. So that's cool, but man, just the power behind having a kid is pretty amazing. So you were born in Russia, man. Talk to us about that, and when did you move to the States, and like and
Yeah.
give us a little background story on that, dude.
Yeah. So I am 41,
Okay.
going on 42 here in a month. Immigrated to the U.S. in 1989 when I was 6. So my parents did all the hard lifting there. Then basically Russia was communism for their entire adulthood and childhood and all that stuff, and they wanted out. And back in the day, you just couldn't leave Russia, so they got on a list for 8 years. They waited and waited and
Wow.
waited to get their turn to be let out of the country, and they ran for the fences. The only thing they let you take is one suitcase per person, and like it was like $400 in cash, and they bounced.
I've
And
always heard like people saying like, yeah, well, like we just took whatever we could fit in a suitcase. I didn't know it's because like that's all you could take.
yeah, like you can't stand up to the government back then,
Like, I'm
not in
gonna load
Russia
this
at least.
U-Haul up real quick.
Yeah, so that's all they did is they basically brought some clothes with them and some things they could sell for a few bucks when they got here. It was like some china and some coins, and yeah, we got like it was a whole formal thing where there was a family that actually brings you in and has to sponsor you before they let you out of the country. So we found out family that sponsored us moved to South Florida, Broward County, for about a year. Lived down there, and my dad's an engineer. He's like a mad scientist type dude, like straight out of Russia, lab coat wearing type guy. And he found work pretty quickly in engineering, and the rest is
Wow.
history. Yeah.
That's so cool, man. So how'd you get into insurance and then becoming, did you start scratch? Did you buy a book? Like I know we are talking a little bit, it sounds like it was a little bit of a family business. So let's catch the
It
listeners up on
was.
that.
Yeah. So I met my wife in college. Her family had been in insurance. Her aunt and uncle were Allstate agents, like original Allstate agents inside of a Sears store. So I'd been around it. And for the longest time, I fought insurance. I was like, it's just not sexy enough. I don't want to do it. So I graduated college and did my own thing in corporate America, doing sales and just avoiding insurance. And she instantly got into Allstate basically. And she started doing all right. And I was working my way up in corporate, started managing a sales team and making pretty good profit. And like my path was one day being a CEO of some company, whatever. And but I slowed down and I looked at her comp plan and I looked at what I was doing in sales and marketing in corporate America. And I'm like, if I just take my effort and my skills over here into a private sector, like where it's a business is just it's our own business, like the comp plan was better. And I didn't have to report to 3,000 guys up the chain. It was just me and my decisions. And I basically just ripped the band-aid off at that point and went head
Wow.
first. Yeah.
So then how do you get to where you're at now? What's your team look like, size wise? How many people you got working
Yep.
inside the
So
agency now?
we're a $48 million agency, and I've
Y'all
got a
see that? He wore that with pride. Little 48, little
not big enough,
48
man. There's
M's.
there's guys that are 175 that I know that's the next stop. But 48's top, I don't know, five or six in the country. Um, but we've got 31 employees. Every last one of them is remote, and
Wow.
we've got 10 in service, and the rest in some form of sales or management.
Wow. Talk to me about that, man. Because like we're remote. We have an office in downtown Louisville. Like we meet and get together, but my team's remote as well. Like, did you guys do that before COVID or was that a COVID change?
COVID COVID made it happen. We were 100%, but we were also a lot smaller back then. Um, but we were all in office, and we had multiple offices. So we had people in this office and people in that office, and customers would still come in and do it the old school way. And then COVID, it legit made you change your business plan. At least for insurance, it was like one of the one of the best changes for insurance. And it
Yeah.
allowed us going home, allowed us to really scale at that point because we could hire anybody anywhere. And now I've got people in different time zones working late at night, getting up earlier, and we're able
Wow.
to just extend our business office or business hours without anything special.
Interesting. Yeah, because the talent pool opens up at that point, right? It's not
For
just like
sure.
hiring who can
Yeah.
report to that office.
My best
Um,
employee is in Montana, and I've never even met her face to face.
really.
Yeah, my best salesperson is. Yeah.
So how do you manage that? How do you manage those people across multiple time zones? Like you guys doing standing morning meetings? Like if it's like 6 a.m. in Cali, 9 a.m. in Atlanta, like how's that work?
We don't do as much like meeting as you would think. And that I did that purposefully. That's just my management style is a little different. I came from the
Okay.
corporate world where there was a lot of micromanaging. And even then, I took the approach like when I managed a team, it's just you do your job, you put up numbers, I'm out of your way. That's how
Mm.
I was as a salesperson. Like, let me go in there and grind, make the calls, and every month, if I'm crushing my goals, then I don't want to hear from you. Don't get
Leave me
and
alone.
exactly. And that's kind of the mentality we have here. We'll meet a couple times a month, maybe like three times max a month on a webinar, and we split up the teams like newer hires and the veterans because they have different questions. And I've got two sales managers, and they're basically the ones that operate the meetings, run the meetings, coach everyone up, give them the pats on the back, and I'm kind of the operations guy now, working on budget and leads and hiring. So
Wow.
I got guys doing a lot of what I used to do. They're doing.
Yeah, that's wild, man. And then so what markets do you guys sell in?
It's only Georgia and
Okay.
Florida.
Okay. Because you were telling me that you just got Florida added, right?
Just got Florida.
Nice. Do you see that being a challenge, right? Because like there's a lot of coastal areas. You see like, and again, I don't sell insurance. We work with a lot of Allstate agents, but like all I hear is like, man, I feel bad for people in Florida and California. Like, and then for New York, they had like a freeze for a while, but like I think you said you're like, yeah, 23 million prospects, probably the population. So you're like, we selling insurance to everybody down there.
Yeah, like I do hear that all the time. People are like, why the hell did you pick Florida? And it's actually a diversification tactic, in my opinion,
Okay.
because there's challenges just selling Allstate, right? In a really hot state like Texas or Georgia or whatever.
Okay.
Like we're stuck with one captive agency, one captive brand. And yes, they might pay better commission, they might have really competitive rates, but in reality, you're closing maybe 11% of everybody you talk to. Whereas
And
an
why is that?
independent,
Because the rates are just like,
well, they yes, either rates or they don't qualify because
okay.
you're stuck with one carrier. It's Allstate in this case, and Allstate's conservative. They don't want to just give insurance to any sucky, prospect. So you
What do you
gotta
mean,
qualify.
Kory? I mean,
You
five
know what I
tickets
mean?
and 60 UIs, man. What's the
Yeah,
problem, right?
click. So there's a challenge there, and Florida is more of a combination of an independent model plus Allstate. So I can sell a ton of Allstate auto products in Florida. They've got really competitive rates in auto, just like any big carrier, State Farm, Allstate, Geico, Progressive. They can do auto in Florida, but none of the big carriers do home insurance in Florida. So it's like we all have pretty much an independent agency contract. I've got like 20 different home insurance carriers that I can now sell a home product to.
Wow.
And the independent book is separate from Allstate. I don't have all the same guidelines that Allstate has. If Allstate wants to shut down Florida auto, doesn't affect my home book. It's it's something I can
Wow.
sell separately to another independent agent, or
Really?
I can sell to an
Okay.
Allstate agent. It its factor on like what you can relist it for, resell it for is different than just a captive agency. So it's a diversification tactic, is all it is. Like
Yeah.
Allstate can mess around and shut down at any moment or change guidelines or whatever. And they've done it in my career multiple times that, sunk in business for a short term.
Yeah.
Now I'm not stuck to just one company.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense, dude. Diversity is a great play. And like, I mean, I've seen it. We work with so many of you guys, and we've got some of the top State Farm, Allstate, and Farmers guys. So it's like when changes happen, like we hear it, like we understand, and it's like, boy, do they, and not just they being Allstate, all of them, boy, do they love moving the goalpost, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, Kory, we need you to sell double what you did last year just to make the same comp. That'd be great, right? It's like, wait, what? I guess I'll go over and fire half my sales staff now, right?
So,
It's
yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about real estate because I've got 72 rental units here in Louisville. They're all Section 8. I've
Good for
done
you.
flip. Thank you, appreciate it. I've done flips in the past. That was some of those I did syndication deal with some guys out of Chicago on, and so I love real estate. One of the things that I think get people hemmed up is they try to diversify too early, right? There's that statistic of like millionaires have an average of 7 streams of income, yada yada yada. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, when did you decide to
Yeah,
like get into real estate?
100%,
Or go ahead.
100% agree with that. Like if you can't make money in one thing, how the hell are you going to make money in two, three other things first? You got to make your first million or whatever first, and then you can start diversifying. So 100% agree with that. That's been my approach. I've always had interest in real estate, and like slowly I don't have 72 rentals. That's badass. I've got 12. And that's how I got into real estate is for the first several years in my career when I did well and I made a few bucks, I would take a chunk of my like literally all my profit pretty much and buy a rental. And eventually I got 12 doors. But the ROI on it is such a long-term play.
Slow, man.
Like you don't you're lucky to see 200-300 bucks a month profit per house.
Yep.
But you know, behind the scenes, someone else is paying your mortgage and it's appreciating and you're building that equity
It's
spread. So
safe.
it's a
Yep.
lovely thing, but dealing with tenants and dealing with people moving out and fixing stuff, and it's like you're not really making money month over month like you would expect.
Yeah.
And I had an employee who was actually my very first hire, Jeremy Rice. He was still in college when I hired him. I hired him to knock on doors of realtors and mortgage officers and try to build a referral business. And then when he graduated college, he actually got licensed and came to work for me as a salesperson full time. And he worked as a full time salesperson for 3 years. And he'd always loved real estate. We talked about my rentals and this and that. And he actually quit one day to go to work for like a We Buy Ugly Houses type
Yep.
place. And he learned the game, and we stayed in touch. And he would call me every now and then. Um, and I was like, look, man, if you ever want to do your own thing, like I've got a little bit of cash. Let's start flipping our own houses. I got my own real estate license because I thought before we became business partners, I got licensed thinking I'm going to buy some more properties or sell the ones I have and just keep growing this slowly and might as well keep my own commission.
Might as well keep 3%.
Exactly. So I got licensed for that reason. And then it just worked out that he hit me up one day. He's like, look, man, I made great money. I think he made 250 in his first full year there. He's like, but I worked like literally 80, 90 hours a week. I drove to every corner of the state.
Wow.
So in reality, he's making like minimum wage for his time.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm ready to do it. And so we just crunched some numbers, figured out what we can invest, and just hit the ground running. So he's my acquisitions guy.
Nice.
He finds the properties, negotiates them down. I fund them, and then I'm the listing agent and I negotiate the sales. So it's a straight up
Okay.
50-50 venture.
That's cool, man. Keeps it nice and clean.
Yep.
How many houses you guys flip in a year?
We're on pace to do right around 30 in 2025.
Wow.
Last year we did, I want to say 18 was our number. So
Yeah.
we're gonna double ish.
Shit, dude. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Is what I guess let me ask you this because this is like I'm just curious. Like I stopped acquiring probably I don't know, it was probably 2019. Like the market was just getting hot and I saw, shitbox houses that I was buying for 18 to 29,000. Like they started transacting at 50. And I'm like, it ain't even got fucking windows in it. What are you doing? Hindsight 2020, I probably should have bought more
Yeah,
because
those are worth 250 now.
now they're 250, man. I mean, no joke. Like the portfolio has almost doubled in value, like which is crazy in less than 10 years because like that's not normal. That's not what real estate historically been. Had I known this was going to be the trend, like I would have been okay making $200 a month, right, on more property. Probably would have syndicated bigger deals. But we built the tech company, and that's working well for us. But I'm curious, why flipping and not just more buy and hold?
Uh, because I'm able to see in scale, I think with the amount of capital that I'm putting into it, like way greater.
Capital velocity. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're making on average like 40K per deal
Okay.
profit. And that's with everything we've done. We tracked it all, and it's like we're averaging 40K per deal. And that's about usually a 90 to 100 day, 120 day time span.
Wow.
And you're not doing that with holds. Like
No.
maybe over the long term of 20 years and I'm acquiring at some pace, like
Like
I'll see the
net,
same
it works
ROI,
out. Yeah.
but frankly, I don't think I'm seeing the same ROI, and that's the main reason I'm
That makes
doubling down on flipping.
makes perfect sense. And you're in Atlanta, so like you're in one of the top cities, right? So like inventory is a problem there. You've got a lot of buyers. Like in Louisville, Kentucky, a little different than Hotlanta.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But that's cool, man. How do you like? I want to switch a little bit to like team. How do you guys go about finding talent like in your insurance business and like, everybody always hears, Hermosi's big for saying this of like an A player, like one A player does not equal two B players. Like there's an exponential factor to it. How do you see that inside of your business? And like, what advice could you give to the listeners on like hiring and scaling a sales team? Cause it sounds like your Allstate agency wasn't the only sales team you've ever, but like you've got experience in this. So like, what's some game you could put some people on?
I'm a little more like shotgun approach, if you will. Like a lot of people say hire slow, fire fast. I'm both. I'm actually hire fast, fire
Hire
fast.
faster.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can hire three people, one of them might work out. But if
Yeah.
you hire with this one person and it takes you forever to figure out if they're good, like you might as well have lost that time. So
Yeah.
my approach for recruiting is really only like a maybe 2, 3 prong approach. I'm quite a big fan of recruiters and paying recruiters to find staff. I've had quite a lot of success. I'd say like 10 of my current employees are through
Wow.
recruiters. And you pay a recruiter anywhere from 3 to 5 grand to find you somebody. But what I like about it in this space in particular is you can get somebody that's already licensed, that's already knows your product, that's maybe been selling for another agent, and that agent stopped marketing or whatever, and they want out, or they're in another state. Like you can get somebody that can hit the ground running and immediately start producing for you on in the first week. So your $4,000 investment on a recruiter, just
Yeah.
get it right back. Whereas if you hire somebody and you got to train them, it could be 6 months before you break even on them.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody that's already licensed and ready to go and has had 5 years of experience, like ready. So that's
Yeah.
what I love about recruiters. You get exactly who you want, and you can tell them, I need somebody in this time zone. I need them to sound real country because they're talking to country folks, or you can tell them I need them to sound whatever.
If from
Just you
Boston, go to the
exactly.
bar, drive the car, right?
They will find you exactly who you want. And then secondly, I put a good amount of content out. I've really started putting some content out here recently, and I've attracted like 3 or 4 employees where people are like, "Hey, I've seen what you're doing. It looks like a cool environment. Like I see you're doing well. Maybe I should come join your team, and you can bring me up with you," type thing. So we've hired a couple people that way. That's really kind of anecdotal. I don't really use that, but it's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
But my staff have been awesome at recruiting their friends. I mean, they like where they work. We give them a lot of freedom. We pay them well, and we ask them to refer somebody else who's a shark like they are. And
Wow.
we've probably got half our staff through referrals of inside members.
Wow. I've heard that is probably one of the best strategies is like it also is a litmus test, right? Of like, hey, why aren't you referring? Like, it almost uncover something of like, maybe Monica's not happy, like, because she's the only one on the team that didn't refer somebody. And it's like, okay, well, now I need to go have a conversation about Monica, like why she's not referring any people to come work here. Do you notice that with recruiting, it cuts down on the interview process as well? So like, are you buying some of your time back with that $3,000 to $5,000 because it's kind of like a one
Oh
time
yeah.
like let's
Oh
have a
yeah.
one call, cool, let's vibe. We know what we're gonna
Oh
do
yeah.
versus like intro, follow up, department head, final. Like it's
Oh
a
yeah.
speed thing too, right?
Yeah. I mean, some recruiters take their sweet time, but they swear they'll find you the right person that first time, and they do. It could be 2 months before you get. So like one recruiter I love to use, they sometimes won't get you a candidate for like a solid 4 or 5 weeks, but they're doing all the first round interviews. They're doing all the marketing to get the resumes and reviewing the resumes and filtering all that stuff. And because they've had like such a serious conversation of what I want, they don't bring me a prospect until like they've been vetted 2 or 3 times by that recruiter first. So
Yeah.
absolutely they do a lot of that for you. And by the time you're talking to them, like within a minute or two, if you're hiring because 90% of the vetting's already been done.
Yeah. You want to give anybody a shout out that you're using?
No, they don't pay me enough for that.
Ah, I love it. Y'all
No, I'm
better hit up
kidding. I'm
Kory for
kidding.
the affiliate deal.
I'm kidding. Greenway Growth. I use Greenway Growth. Troy Greenway's my boy.
Nice.
Um, so Troy, send checks. You know where to send the checks.
There you go. Mailbox money. I like it, man.
And then
What?
and then there's Stephanie Riggins. She's another Allstate agent as well. She's
Okay.
found me a few people.
Nice, very cool. Let's change gears a little bit, man. How do you manage the risk like with all like the changing environment, the extreme weather, inflation, reinsurance, all these like things that like it seems like it's way more volatile now. Now whether you like it's the ice cap, poor polar bears, or like you're just like, no, this shit's just crazy, right? Or you're like, China's controlling the weather. Who knows? You're somewhere on that spectrum. Like how are you guys managing that? Or is that just something like, hey man, that's part of being an agent. I don't have to worry about that. Corporate takes care of it.
Yeah, it's mostly the second part. Corporate takes care of the top level management of catastrophes and what they got to pay out in claims and that sort of thing. And really, our business plan is primarily sales and growth for the company.
Okay.
Like we do as best as we can to retain customers and provide excellent service and help them through a claim and all that stuff, but it's not ultimately our local responsibility to manage like the catastrophes. Um, but it is our responsibility to keep them happy and keep them recurring with us. So like that makes a big difference in your bottom line if you're not having to replace 30% of your customers every single
Yeah,
year
man.
and you're retaining them. So we do focus on that, obviously, but you just look at the business plan. Okay, what is my greatest ROI in this business model? And in right now, it's growth and sales, and it's acquiring new customers and signing up new customers and getting market share. And so, if that's where the carrot is, that's
That's
where
where
I
you
go.
chase.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. I love that. What's the wildest claim that you've ever had?
man, I've seen a handful of claims, but the ones that piss me off the most,
Oh,
and this is by
oh, we
wild,
got
I
we got
mean,
Kory. This is where he starts speaking Russian.
Russians love to cuss, so I can cuss in Russian. But I've seen some pretty fraudulent, like people try to do some fraudulent stuff. And I had
Oh,
one customer in urban Atlanta somewhere. She came a customer. It was like the easiest thing to sign this customer up. It was almost too easy. And she
ah,
had like a I forgot what it was. It was some luxury car, Maserati, I think it was originally. And so she signed up, and then within the first, I don't know, couple months, she added a Bentley Continental. She added some other fancy car, and so like, before you know it, it's this one chick on like a nurse's salary with five luxury cars that are worth like 100 grand plus. And all of a sudden, she put in a claim for theft of like three of them. And Allstate did their investigation and found fraud in there, something to do with like an ex-boyfriend or maybe a boyfriend. But anyway,
no, really?
yeah,
Is
it
that
was
where that story was going?
yeah. They had a whole thing going where they were defrauding insurance companies.
Jeez,
We were
man.
next on their list, but they got busted.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, my I had a tree fall on my house and like rip a whole side of it off years
Dang.
ago, and that was wild, man. I won't name the insurer, but it wasn't Allstate, and I mean they sent their guys out and were like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Carroll, we'll have this put back together in no time. $16,000 claim, we'll get it done." I'm like, 16 grand, bro. Half my house is gone, and so like they came in, they were like framing it up, and I'm like, listen, I know like I'm not a carpenter, but like I'm pretty sure every 16 inches on that tape measure is marked for a reason. Like walls are on 24s, and I was like, oh my goodness, that was a mess. You guys get to see some wild stuff, man, in the insurance business. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's only gotten worse here lately. I mean,
Yeah,
more and more claims because of the weather severity is
right.
kind of pretty prevalent.
Yeah. Is that anywhere in the back of your mind, or are you just like, nah, bro, we're growing. Like we just got to go sell policies. Like, is that your focus? Do you give any
Look, the
mental?
company raises rates for a reason, pretty much every renewal,
Yeah.
just to keep up with the cost of all these claims and the frequency of all these claims. And as a big corporation like Allstate or State Farm or whoever, like they collect premiums and predict the future, if you will.
Yeah.
So they run profitably. And
It's a
and my
financial
job is
instrument.
just to quote as many people, present them the price, and see who I can push to buy.
I love it, man. I love it. I saw you were with my guy Nick Saka not too long
Yes, my
ago.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Love Nick's stuff. He was on the podcast, I think, last season. So let's talk about social media. I mean, that's the space I'm in. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, how you guys are using it. You said, you're kind of already putting that out there. I've been since 2016. I literally have been telling agents like you need to build a brand on social media because it's like it's where it's going. It's where it's going. And now like I feel like COVID kind of had like an aha. We've had a lot of agents come on since COVID because they're like, oh shit, everybody's at home on their phones. And I'm like, yeah, they've been at home on their phones, but like, sure, yeah, I guess COVID helped that. But like, what's your thoughts on social media? Do you guys drive a lot of business from that? Are you buying leads primarily? Like, what's that structure look
Yeah.
like for you?
I mean, primarily we buy leads and send mail, but I've definitely
Oh, direct
gotten,
mail.
yep, but I've
Okay.
definitely gotten quite some business from social media. And that was really my New Year's resolution this year, was like to
Okay.
rip the Band-Aid off and quit being a wuss and just post a lot more. And Nick helped me kind of conceptualize how I wanted to do that some. So thanks to him. But for the longest time, I knew I had to do it. I was just being a wuss about it. Um, and I'm so glad I had done it, because it's like you're almost missing the boat some. There's so many people that have come up and grew their brand and started getting paid better just because they just put out content. So much we're just creatures of flipping our phone and getting entertained. And now, like every other day, I'm putting out content. I got a guy that comes out and videos for me and chops it up and posts for me.
Nice.
And I'm putting out fun stuff about cars. I'm putting out e- educational stuff about real estate, about insurance. It's like, and then Wes Watson, if you know who that is on
Uh-uh.
Instagram, he, he's my favorite. Um,
Okay.
he's raw and strong and like will kick you to be a better man. So he's part of the other reason. Like, I don't know, he built an awesome brand
Okay.
online straight out of prison and like built this crazy brand, and
Nice.
he's awesome to follow. So he's part of the reason that I'm like, I've listened to what he says. He's like, you just, it's kind of like a commercial of your life. Everything, just show them what you're doing on a daily basis.
That's
Doesn't
it,
matter
man.
who thumbs up it, who thumbs down it, and how many people just swipe past you. You're gonna get enough eyes on it, and eventually that person will slow down and listen to you, and you become like an expert in your field. And when people are thinking about insurance, oh, I remember Kory's been talking about it for, so let me text him. Let me DM him.
Yeah, man.
Oh, about real estate. Oh, I remember this guy. He flips houses in Atlanta. Well, my grandma has a house. So now, since I've been doing it consistently, I've gotten dozens of leads for insurance and people that became our customers. I told you I already recruited a handful of employees that way, and we've gotten two real estate deals.
Let's
People like,
go.
hey, I see where you're posting. I like your transparency. One of them's my mom has a house to sell. We just got her house under contract, on pace to make like 57K profit on that flip. Everything I've put into social media is like 10x my investment already just with this one flip. And then we did another flip that's under contract right now that somebody sent to us. They're like, hey, I see you're posting all this stuff. So you just do it. Just throw it out there. Who cares who doesn't watch it? Who does watch it? It'll get some traction every now and then. It's just they'll think
Yeah.
of you, and that's all I want.
I love it, man. I oftentimes I'm speaking on stages. I've spoken at dozens of insurance conferences. I say, nobody wakes up on a Saturday morning and is like sipping their cup of coffee, looking out across their lawn and going, today's a great day to go buy another insurance policy, right? Like if
Yeah.
it worked like that, I would be selling insurance, right? Typically, they buy for two reasons. They either had a bad claims experience with who they're with,
Yep.
or they got a rate increase in the mail, right? Like normally
Yep.
in the audience, somebody raises their hand. They're like, well, what about a drop ad? I'm like, bro, if I've been at the dealership for 3 hours, the last thing I want to do is sit there another 3 hours and shop insurance, right? I'm going to drop ad with my current guy. And then when I get the rate increase, that's when I go shopping. And so for an insurance agent, a lot of times we get pushback from our clients with social media ads. We're like, well, I need to get more leads out of this. I'm like, listen, we're not driving that. We're driving top of mind awareness and brand awareness so that when those two milestones happen, you're the first person that they think about, right? And they don't just go and type in auto insurance Atlanta, Georgia. They go, oh, what's that guy? Kory. They may not even remember your last name. They're like, he's an Allstate guy. Kory Allstate. Oh, boom. It's a Google search, right? Here's where I'm curious. How, like, those are close to the fire, so it's easy for you to track that. Oftentimes what I see agents are doing is they're like, we don't get any leads from social media. But what happens is you create top of mind awareness. Somebody goes to Google, they find you, and then your team's like, how'd you hear about us today? They're like, I went to Google. And so now you're like, by default, taking some of that social media attention, throwing it into the Google bucket, right? And then you could pull money out of that thing that was actually driving business. How do you guys track what you're doing and what's effective in your business?
I mean, from a social media standpoint, I'm
Yeah.
not at that level. Like, I'm not tracking anything really. Besides, I just need to put stuff out there and just be that top of mind guy.
That's
And
Kory. That's probably the best answer that you could have given, man, because insurance agents are always like worst case scenario, super analytical. So they're like, I got this like spreadsheet inside of the spreadsheet over here, right?
I can
But
I can tell you that about all my lead vendors and where I'm spending money for real on leads and mail. Like, I can tell you down to the zip code and all that stuff. But from social media, you like, it's not a lead gen source, right? It's just frankly not. It's
yeah,
more of like, who's this guy I'm doing business with? I can see he's got some stuff out there. It becomes kind of a personal thing,
yeah.
and it's just easier to do business with someone you sort of understand.
I love that, man. I love that. Nick and I have talked about that like in depth. He's like, yeah, I write 500,000 in premium a year off of it. Like I can point to it, but at the same time, I always make the analogy like if you're gonna play social media, even if you're a small business, right, and you're like you're not, you're in the same game as Mountain Dew when they buy a Super Bowl ad. And what Mountain Dew doesn't do is on Monday morning after the Super Bowl, they don't all get around the boardroom, spark up cigarettes, twist their mustaches, and say, "How many bottles did we sell last night?" Right? Like it doesn't work like that. It's a long term play, and it's like you won't really be able to calculate, especially because you're mixing. I love what you're doing, dude. The cars are clickbait, dude. Like those are gonna crush. Real estate people love to see it. You're a massive insurance agency. Anytime you have success with you, I follow some of these guys. Tommy Mello is a guy. A1 Garage Doors, $200 million a year company. Like you start talking about how you have a $200 million a year company, you're a unicorn. You're going to get followers. People are going to be like you're saying, $4 million book. Like, well, shit. Like, I'm just going to tune into this guy for a bit to see what's he doing a little differently. It's so powerful, but for the agent that's like, well, I don't have a $40 million book. Now what the fuck am I going to do? Right? I'm not Kory. It's like, I don't have super cool, man. Find something that is different about you. Maybe you're an awesome dad. Maybe you are like the greatest soccer coach in the world. Like, make your content around that is special because you know what else is going to happen? You're going to start attracting clients that come to you not because they clicked on the dancing banana that said veterans could save 50% on their auto insurance, right? That you paid $7 for that lead and they're going to shop you in 90 days anyway. But you get somebody that comes to you and says, "Hey man, I got a house, a rental, 3 cars, and a couple life insurance policies. Like, I really appreciate how good of a dad you are coaching your kids in soccer. Like, I want to do business with you." And it's like, that's two different business models, man, because that person never churns. Allstate gives them a price increase every 6 months, and they're like,
It's
I don't,
personal.
it's it, man.
Yeah.
It's a personal relationship. It's kind of like back to
That's
selling at
hard to do
Sears.
in insurance on a huge scale. It really is. Because you got to acquire 1,000 new customers every month. And
Yeah.
then what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to entertain these 40,000 customers you already have?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that makes sense because now if you do have content out there, there's that relationship.
Yeah, it's how I think I think social media is how you build relationships at scale. It's like how you scale that thing that's super hard to scale because a lot of times too is like I love when people are like, "Well, dude, I only got 200 views on my video." It's like, "Hey man, if I put you at a conference on stage in front of 200 people, do
Is
you know
that
how
big room?
jacked you'd
Yeah.
be? Like that's a big ass room of people." But you're like, "Well, I only got 200 views and 3 likes." It's like it's so crazy, man. The depth perception that's off there. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to keep you. We'll get to the end of this thing. Some fast kind of some fast questions we'll hit you with. Best business book that you recommend to anyone?
Ooh, I got so many good ones.
Okay, give me your
Um,
top 3 then.
Buy Back Your Time's probably towards the top of the
Woo!
list.
Dan Martell, my guy.
Yeah, man, that one really pushed me to accelerate kind of the middle management thing I've got going on and help me like when I put some guys in management positions because really that book is the one that finally said, "All right, Kory, it's time to do it." I knew I had to do it. It helped me kind of learn what I want to do
Gave you the
around it.
framework.
Yeah, man, it really did. And so that was a good one. What else is there? There's another one, uh the No BS Guide to Direct Marketing by
Mhm.
Dan Kennedy.
That's Dan Kennedy. Yeah, that's
Yep,
OG
yep,
of marketing right there.
yep. That was a solid one. That helped me kind of figure out my mailing campaign stuff. And now I send like 100,000 pieces of mail out every single month. Um,
Wow.
and I follow his tactics about being like real aggressive in the message and call to action in the message. Just none of this canned stuff with the insurance speak. It's just my own message.
Yeah.
Um, that's my dog, Chloe. And what else is there? That's the Little Red Book of Sales. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Yep.
It's
I
like the
actually
original.
I actually cited that the Hunter Head Games, my book's coming out in October. I actually talked about it in there
Yeah, that was
because
like the original book I read um, when I was fresh out of college in the sales game. My old boss gave it to me, and it just has stuck with me. And I try to give it to every new hire of mine. Yeah,
yeah, that's a powerful one, man. Cool. Any podcast you listen to podcast or like I mean, obviously you're a fit dude, so when you're working out, you listen to podcasts, you listen to music, you listen to books. What do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of books in my car. Every now and then I'll pop on a podcast, um, and but mostly it's like every month I'm trying to listen to a new book. Right now, I'm listening to the 38 Letters to My Son by Rockefeller, J.D.
Oh,
Rockefeller.
I've heard that one. I have not bought
Yeah,
that one yet, so I'm gonna put that one there. I heard that's a good one.
it's a good one. It's for sure a good one. I'm about halfway done with that. And yeah, so in the car, like on my drives to do whatever, I'm mostly listening to podcasts, and then in the gym, I'm bumping out to some rap music usually because I'm from Atlanta. So,
You getting that trap music in it. I
that's
like
right.
it. It just hit me. Jeffrey Gitomer is the Little Red Book is selling.
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
couldn't
yes.
think of. I had
Yeah.
Jeff in my mind. It was Jeffrey Gitomer. Cool man. And then how can people connect with you, Kory, if they're interested in following along on your
Yeah.
journey, watching the content, man?
It's Kory with a K. So find me on Facebook, Instagram, Kory, and then my last name Rykman, RYK man. And
Love it.
I'm on YouTube too. I got one video that broke 100,000 views here recently. So
Wow. Okay. Short or a long form?
long form, just a car review. I bought
There
an
you go.
AMG
There you
as my
go.
daily and reviewed it.
Daily in the AMG. Guys, I tell you, I just keep trying to level up the guests that I have here in the sales factory, man.
I don't know, bro. You got 72 rentals. That's pretty awesome. You
Hey,
got to level up to that.
freedom's the flex for me now, man. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't want to have to talk to anybody, I was talking to Craig Wiggins the other day. He said, DJ, he said, freedom is the flex because it's like, or I told him, I was like, freedom's the flex. He said, yeah. He said, his rule is if I don't want to butt it on the calendar, I don't have to. He's like, that's where I want to be at. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's just a game changer, man. When
Yeah.
you start looking through that lens. So,
Yep.
dude, Kory, I appreciate you coming on the Sales Factory, man. This has been fun. We'll definitely have to have you on again in the future, track your progress as you guys continue to grow and do big things, man. I appreciate you sliding through.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks, DJ.
absolutely. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the share button, hit the smash, the like, the comments, tag your grandma, whoever, share it out to your brother, your uncle, your sister. You got somebody that sells. Maybe you got somebody looking for a job in insurance. They should hit up Kory. Until next time, I'm Coach Carroll. As always, hustle, it's worth it. Take care, guys.